Welcome to WerePanda Productions Pandemonium Podcast.
Wait, was that the mistake? Because we were not doing the Pandemonium podcast?
Pretty much is a mistake, yeah.
Anymore. Were we doing that?
I love doing
we've
that.
waited for like 3 weeks.
Oh, you guys loved it? Well, this is the
Pandemonium
Podcast.
I'm Daniel.
It's Levi.
Alan.
And Aaron.
Yeah!
Okay.
Your hosts for tonight.
I didn't know. I thought
Or
we
like
were
guest
going away from that. I
speakers.
thought you
Well,
guys
no.
didn't like that.
Because then you just... No.
We
once-
wanted to
I
add
thought once
something
we got
to
the
it.
song, you guys just didn't want that anymore.
I liked it still.
It's streamlined now, man.
It's part of who we are.
This is Pandemonium now.
Anyways, so to start out tonight, we got kind of an interesting story. I know I'm going to sound kind of stupid and naive saying it, but
Love
I'm going
it.
to say it anyways. So it was a couple weeks ago. It was the weekend of my parents' anniversary when we all went out. Kylie and I spent the weekend at my parents' house because we just kind of wanted to get away for a little while. They weren't going to be there, so they said we could spend the weekend there. And so Azure was there, Alan.
Whoa.
Why would you...
Do you realize how many times you've made that
We've made
joke
that joke.
here?
You
Well,
realize
you
how
should
many
stop
times you go
insinuating
Azure was
that.
there?
You allow us to make that
You
joke?
guys just need to start assuming that anytime I'm spending time with Cammy or Kylie.
Whoa!
No, it's so hard.
I know.
No, I
Yeah.
do that
It's
too.
because
all the
it's
because
time.
they're K's. They're both K's.
No. I hung out with Laura once and I was like calling her Amanda the whole day. It was
Oh,
so
man.
bad.
I do really good. I don't ever call Kylie that. Ever.
To her face.
Yeah.
Just behind her back.
No, it's the slip of the tongue thing. They both started with the cuz, and it's just hard.
We understand.
Aaron
Slipped her
does.
the tongue.
Anyways, you just need to assume that every time I'm with Kylie, that Azure's there too. Okay.
I wouldn't like to assume that. I mean, what you do with your family,
This
that's
is how
on
you
you,
do
man.
it. You don't have alone time because you can't have alone time.
We have.
Well, you can.
No,
No,
you
you
can't.
Okay.
Just be like,
Safe space, Dan.
Hey,
we
Safe
have a
space.
kid.
So we were hanging out there. I just gotten my haircut, and Kylie was taking the thing you put around you. What's it called?
A
Okay.
towel.
No, it wasn't a towel. It was like the literal, thing that they
A
put
lanyard?
on you.
A robe.
Oh, you mean the actual shawl type thing
Yeah.
that goes over you when they cut your
When they
hair?
cut your hair. What's
I don't know
Oh,
what that
that's
I don't
that's
know.
called
Find out.
a barber sheet.
You know, it's weird.
Yes.
I've never thought about it before. I can't believe I don't know
Dude.
what that is.
It's like a
I can't believe you don't know.
detachable.
That's not even that's not even, hey, here's our new English word.
detachable
What does that
poncho.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we've
it's a
used it
detachable
tons of
poncho.
times.
Here, I'll find it out. Anyway, keep going.
Okay,
She took off the...
she took it outside to
thing.
clean it of hair,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Hey, look, a UFO!" And I'm thinking she's just messing with me because I'm always like hoping to see
Yeah.
a UFO, and I'm not talking about like alien saucer here. I'm just talking about
Something
something
identified.
weird in the sky, not usual.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "No, you're just kidding." And she's like, "No, really, there's something out there." So I'm like, "Oh, whoa." And I run out there and I look out. And so if you look off of our balcony, you can see there's like a V created by a roof in a tree. If you look over there, there's this light. There's this light. And it's like 4 lights. And they're like blue and red and purplish, and they're not flashing, they're just really kind of bright lights, and it's like hovering up and down, so it's not like going one direction, it's like going up and down, and I'm like, whoa, that's kind of weird. And then it just kind of hovers down below the line of sight that I can see it. So I'm like, oh man, what was that? I'm like kind of like excited because I had never seen anything like that before. It was kind of weird. So I keep looking, I keep going down, I keep looking for it, and it was back. And it was there, hovering again, hovering up and down. And then all of a sudden I see this really small white light kind of hover up to it, and then it hovers back down below the line of sight, and I didn't see it after that. Now, I have horrible depth perception.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
you know?
The first time I heard it, I was like, "What was your depth perception?"
Exactly.
at
And
that
so
point?
I know it was past the trees and I was past the house because it was going behind that. But
I can just imagine those kids playing with those like little like
Yeah.
That's
things
the
where they
thing,
pull
is,
the
like,
root card and it goes
yeah,
up.
and like I wonder if it was like that or some other toy. But the thing is the lights were really bright and they were big, and so it would have had to either been really, really close or really,
Really
big far away.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you remember what happened immediately afterwards, or is there kind of a blank spot in your mind?
I know there wasn't any missing time. I was paying
Are you
attention to the clock.
quite
and
sure?
stuff. Yes, I'm quite sure. I freak out about that stuff.
Has Kylie looked at your anus? Is there any
I know. I was
foul
gonna say,
play?
how did your butt feel before and after you saw the lights?
Oh, fine. There wasn't any.
So it just
anything
hurt,
out of the
it
ordinary.
hurt like
it just
normal.
hurt like normal. Yeah.
Right, found out what it's called. The first answer was like,
Detachable poncho.
it's a sheet. Why do you need a special word?
Yeah,
But the other person was saying, barber's cape or barber's gown.
I'm plugging right now detachable poncho
Detachable
as
poncho.
the new name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
Detachable,
reverse
hoodieless.
cape.
Reverse cape.
First cape.
That's like going back and talking about like you guys making fun of the lost time thing. That's probably, I think, by far the creepiest UFO experience. Is like driving somewhere, seeing a UFO, and then all of a sudden you're
There's a
back
gap.
where you are, but all of a sudden it's like half an hour later. And like I don't necessarily believe stories because I haven't experienced that, but there are stories where people like, I lived in a rural area. It was like a 15-minute drive to the movies because it was kind of far away, but it was just down a freeway. And we went to see a movie, and we were driving back home, and we knew we were going to be home by curfew because it's only a 15-minute drive. But then we see something strange kind of floating towards us, and it's just really bright. But then we're back, on the road, and we can see everything. But we get home half an hour late. We should have been home at this time, but all of a sudden we were home at this time, and we were like, we were in charge of
What they
curfew.
don't tell you though is all the drugs they were
Oh,
taking.
yes, that is exactly what I was going to say. They failed to mention we happen to be tripping.
Okay,
You don't know
so
that though.
I came up with a scenario and I was
yeah.
wondering how it would play out with you guys. And so imagine you're both like, as a baby, like, let's say, imagine a world where twins are very special and that one
that's
is
not this world.
that's not this one. You guys are not special at all. Where one twin gets like supernatural powers and then the other twin doesn't get any. But by the twin using those supernatural powers, it takes years off of the other twin's life.
That's
So
horrible.
which one of you would get the power, and
Would you use it?
and would you use it, and how would you use it?
Okay.
And
Well, I'll tell you this much. Number one, I wouldn't use it. I know it's lame. Well, I guess depending on what the power
would you be
was.
able? Does it just take years off of
it
your
like
life?
it
or do
decays
you,
your body.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But
I would.
but
I
it
probably would use it.
it like it decays it from like the inside out kind of. So like,
Well, how much of the power can you use before
well,
the person's
you
gone?
could use it all up in a single go as long as he has the energy or like time to back it up. You can use as much energy at any one moment.
Here's
that you
my
want.
question: is this a magical world? Then
It's a world where this is possible.
Let's just say it's our world, exactly,
Yeah,
except for
it's
that
not.
one fact.
have they determined what the genetic reason for that is?
I don't know.
Sorry,
I came up with it because I was watching Blue Exorcist, and
Were you right, by the way?
no, it was just different.
So, okay,
He just
sweet.
no, yeah, it was
Like,
different.
I know I
so
want to watch
so
it.
I
don't
did
want
come
it to be
up
ruined,
with it
so
by
you
my
came,
own.
yeah.
Yeah, because I got the idea because I was just thinking of possible ways that the thing could end, but it ended up ending differently, and so.
Well, here's what I'll make this deal with you, Alan.
I'll make a
Okay.
deal.
No.
A hypothetical deal.
Hear me out.
He's a devil.
It doesn't matter which one of us has the powers. We promise not to use them unless it's to save the world, and the one who it would die is willing to make the sacrifice.
Yes.
Can you?
the
Would
world.
you use?
With one stipulation, which makes me. This is why I'm asking you this question. So, does it just like make the body parts, like your organs inside, like more decrepit? Right? Is that what happens?
Imagine it more like
Life force.
Hodenheim from like Full Metal Alchemist. Just
the
like
Brotherhood, though.
yeah.
haven't-
Well,
No,
I don't
I
know.
don't
Just
watch that.
just that you don't really feel the effects too much until your whole body has been decayed, like used.
Yeah,
Like,
that's regular.
You're
full
fine
metal.
until boom, that moment, the
Is
tipping
there
point.
is there such thing as like transplants?
like
Too
getting
far
someone
gone.
else's blood.
Too
to,
far
like,
gone.
Like yeah,
like,
like a
or
heart
heart,
transplant, liver transplant,
Let's say no.
kidney transplant.
So he
But
can keep
but it
healing.
seems
Okay,
like
then let's say it's like more like your soul or something like
Like
an
fine. An
unseen
essence,
force.
Yeah.
fine. Okay, yeah, then I agree to your terms.
Could he use the power to save his own life though?
I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Like, well, let's say it wouldn't even kill him. It would just like take
Oh.
5 years off of his life.
Yeah, to take 5 years.
Yeah, I would do that
Like,
too.
How much
5 years.
How much power would
whatever.
it take for $1 million?
I
'Cause
don't know.
Money.
I don't know if I was
money
thinking of
only
like generating
seems-
power.
Because
from
money
it.
seems like a big thing, but in reality, it's just a human concept. So creating that kind of money shouldn't technically take a lot, right?
You know, isn't that funny, perspective though? Whenever people get asked for wishes and they ask for like $1 billion, they think it's like some really big, and huge wish. But in reality, the genie's like, sure, I'll pop up.
What a lame wish.
Yeah.
Here's what I would do. I would wish.
I can teach you the
that-
secrets of the universe, but you just
I
want
want
$1
$1
billion
billion.
dollars.
Yeah.
I would wish that the most rare substance in the world was my hair.
What?
So that way everyone would want my hair and they would trade me anything to
You
get
would,
my
well,
hair.
you would die in like
Yeah.
an instant, but then your hair would
Well, but
become like
that-
extremely,
I would-
extremely
I would-
rare.
I would then
that's
wish
how
for-
that's how the genie twists it.
Isn't that the story for Tangled?
No, it was what the hair could do that was
Uh,
important. Oh, that's good.
Is that really how Rapunzel is? Like the
In
actual
the
story of Rapunzel.
No, that has nothing.
Healing
to do.
powers, yeah. What was it? Just she had.
She had been put up in the tower, and the witch never allowed her to cut her hair.
Okay,
That's
so
why it
just a
grew
lot
longer.
of L'Oreal.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
she's
not
born
very-
with
she's
it.
I mean, you have to realize if it was L'Oreal, the prince climbing up would just keep sliding down. The reason he was able to cut is because there was
What
a
the
huge.
hell?
The reason he was able to climb is because it's a huge tangled mass. He could just reach his
Oh my
fingers
God.
in and
It's
just
true.
climb up with that.
Oh,
If it
how
were-
long has that been there?
Yeah, if it were actually
liking
like
you
all
less and less by
nice
the
and
foot.
everything.
They had to add in the magical aspect because you can't make a whole movie about
Yeah, climbing a tower.
climbing a tower. They had to have some kind
How
of.
did they make an entire story?
Well,
of
they
it
should have.
even?
They
Yeah.
should have just done a montage of climbing the tower. At least.
You guys ever notice in that movie?
I love
her
montage.
hair is like floating around all over the ground and everything, yet it's still like beautifully clean no matter what.
Magic.
Yeah, Alan, magic.
You really think the magic does that though?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Was
Hey,
it dirty?
whoa.
Was her hair dirty at any point in the show? Magic.
Okay.
Okay. Not saying
Alan,
aliens.
Alan, yeah, if you
But
don't want to go
aliens.
with magic, it could be aliens.
There was a time gap in there.
Yeah.
I just remember living somewhere and then I was stuck in this tower and I don't remember what happened in between.
No.
Wait, how did we get to like Tangled?
Talk about Alan's
Oh, Tangled.
hair.
Okay,
Right,
yeah,
that's
that's right.
right.
That's right.
I was about
I'll
to be
let
like,
it
yeah,
grow
it's
and I'd be like,
drugs is what
touch
got
my
it there.
hair.
Ew.
And someone would touch it and I'd be like, now you're done. Give me whatever you came to bring as tribute.
No, so what you guys say is
Right.
that touching your hair is the rarest of opportunities, not owning your hair.
No, owning. People could give me small stuff to just touch it.
No, but
And then,
here's the
like, big
difference.
stuff to get.
They say own it, they kill you, and one person owns a small, finite amount of your hair, and all of a sudden, it's the most valuable thing in the world
'Cause you
because
can't
there's
grow
no
it.
more of it.
Yep.
If you just have it so that they need to touch it,
And is it just head hair or on your body?
Of course, I do all
Let it
hair
grow,
because
man.
I do all hair because then there's more of it, you know.
Gives a new thought to Bigfoot, doesn't
Well,
it?
well, think about it. If I had a really hot girl come up and she's like, "I want to touch your hair," I'm like, "Okay, sounds."
Oh my
good."
gosh.
Give me the best of both worlds.
Maybe. She's
until
probably
she
like,
rips it out because she wants it.
No, because touching it is important, not owning it. The moment it leaves
what
my body,
a
it's
weird
unimportant.
wish. What the hell? That is just a weird wish.
I know,
I
I
always
can't-
have weird wishes, though, guys. Why
Yep.
don't I have weird wishes?
The only way you'll get laid is by your
Just
hair.
by your hair.
It's like you want to feel my hair all over you.
See? It just got worse.
Anyways.
I don't know. I'd like drug you and take you to
The
like-
zoo. A petting zoo.
No.
Oh my God.
No, I was thinking like a Brazilian wax place and just be like do full body.
Laser hair removal.
Oh my word, that would be the worst thing to you.
You would die. People would kill you because you're like, "You ruined this for us. It was you."
Nah.
And you would be dead.
Nah.
Only the laser hair doctor would get that treatment.
They wouldn't do it though. If my hair is that coveted to touch, they'd be like, "I can't do that."
I'm sure there'll be some
I
people
can't.
who hate it.
Well, what if it's causing so
It's a
much
wish,
problems
though.
that they're like wanting to get rid of it to
Yeah.
go back to what
Yep.
status quo.
As much as they want to, they can't because it is that coveted. You guys wouldn't even be able to because it is that coveted.
Laser hair removal.
He'd go Hollywood if he got stay like that. We wouldn't be able to hang around him. He'd have his
Yeah.
own personal bodyguards.
I would
Co-starring Alan Shepard.
I would
For
probably
women.
make like you know fur
Hair
coats.
products.
Oh gosh.
But how many
This
fur
Alan hair?
coats do you think you could make? Like, does your hair still grow
Produce,
normally?
yeah. Like, is
Yeah,
that
no, my hair
your
grows
second wish that it
normally.
grows
Okay.
a little bit faster?
No, but that's the thing. So it would be such like so many people will want. I could sell millions.
Why
It's
don't
just messed up.
Why don't you do this? Why don't you just wish that you're the only one in the world that has hair?
It's not the same. I mean, just because no one else has it,
Yeah,
that makes
that-
me a freak, Daniel.
Well, so would your hair being
I
like
know.
a rare
Alan,
substance
how's
that
that
people
not
want to pet.
freakish?
That
It'd be different because I wouldn't be shunned for being a freak. I would be coveted for being a freak.
Speaking of people with no hair, I've been playing this game called The
Oh.
Forest.
They don't have anything
They are
except
like
boobs.
they're just
Yeah,
They do have
yeah,
boobs.
and they're like always slimy and wet. It
Ugh.
looks like
I
and they're
know.
really shiny.
Yeah, they're always really shiny. Maybe that's what's happening. You
They're
hit
like-
the axe and it
Yeah,
glances off
glances.
of
They're
them.
pairing with their body. Or there's just
Ah, it's weird.
mercury.
crazy
But it's a
survival
horror
game.
survival game, and you get to just build stuff, and it's still in like the alpha test. But by now, probably when you hear this, it'll be maybe
In
out
beta.
there and a good thing. Yeah.
I still
Well,
think Outlast was creepier.
Outlast was creepier.
Have you finished it yet?
I haven't. I've been waiting for you
Okay.
guys
Oh,
to play
Outlast.
I wanna
That's
play
what
it.
you mean. The game I will never watch.
I think that Aaron, you're saying that the Forest seems just like Minecraft.
Yeah,
on
Minecraft.
drugs.
So
but
the,
like
the
survival.
Aborigines are the creepers.
Yeah. Well, that actually, there are things that look kind of like creepers, but are like humans, and they come and they
Oh.
just ruin your like your
Yeah.
civilization.
It is
Really?
Minecraft on
That
a
is
nightmare
totally
trip.
Minecraft on like
They're,
acid.
they're not green things, but they have like 10 legs.
Is it
And they
that
come
thing
up
you
and
saw?
spiders, yeah. And she was like a female, and she tried to like grab me with her
Yeah,
legs.
with her legs. That was
It was
weird.
so gross.
But it
You're
comes-
laughing
But it
maniacally.
comes and just destroys
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, yeah,
We were
there's a-
watching a trailer, and he built this whole nice like fortress, and then he goes and he wakes up all those things, and then you
They,
just
like-
see them busted through like those defensive walls we were making with the pointy things.
Yeah, like
That's
destroys
creepy.
it. And it's
My one
messed
pet
up.
peeve though was that any traps you build,
Didn't
It's
work.
sprung, yeah, they didn't really work. And then once they are sprung, you can't reset them.
Which is stupid because any real
Yeah, and
trap you'd be able to reset.
And it was like a dead weight trap, and so all you have to do is lift back up the log and put back all the four sticks to get tripped again. But
Yeah.
that's
It was. I mean, it's pretty fun.
it is a fun game though.
The Aborigines, like it's, the Aborigines are stupid because you have this axe, and I'm not talking about just a hatchet. It's like a legitimate, battle axe, not
Aerodynamic plane axe.
It is a plane
It
axe.
is a plane axe.
And so it's but you're hitting them like over and over
It's
and
like
over again with
10
this
plus
axe.
times.
Yeah, and I'm like, no one could take that many hits with an axe and survive. Nobody,
I love when you cut up a human being, you get like 4 arms,
Yeah,
3
and like
legs,
2
and
heads.
2 heads.
Yeah.
So you kill them, and then you get the axe, and you do like the final chop, and it just busts open into like body parts, and there's like
It's just a random
Random
assortment of
assortment
party
of
parts.
body
And then you can pick them up and set up like an
Effigies.
effigy to be like, hey guys, check it.
I
I
killed,
killed
you
this.
guys.
I killed one guy and look what happened.
And it was so weird because at night they would come into like Daniel's camp and start putting up their own effigies.
What?
Yeah.
I know, and so you'd just wake up in the morning and there would just be things
Well,
around
yeah.
you.
So
You're like,
I
"What
was.
the
So I finished building that one house. It didn't have a door, but I hid in there at night and like had the fire going, and I was just gonna do there so that they could only come at me through the door, and I could just like beat them. But then I saw through one of the holes that there were like 5 of them out there, and they're just like walking around, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going out there. But then the daytime comes and they've gone, and you go back out, and there's this like stick with the head on
Yeah,
it,
and then, like,
or
the hair's, like, pulled to
different
sides,
ends.
and there's like a skull through a pike through a skull head, and I'm like, what are they doing?
It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I think you get like one chance. They knock you out and you wake up in this cave. And I remember waking up and I couldn't find my way out, so I just started walking, and there was just like almost like hundreds of bodies just hanging from the
upside
cave
down.
ceiling upside down. And it like comes up on the bottom and it's like 50 or so like passengers discovered of 120, like because
Wow.
apparently you're supposed to find
You're
all
also
the
supposed to find all your bodies.
all the passengers.
It's
and
because
all.
you're
Oh.
supposed to be looking for the kid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, that kid. I want to watch a video if anyone's ever like gotten to
Well,
the kid.
it's alpha. It's probably not something you can beat.
Yeah, because I tried to get to that island that I couldn't get to.
Yeah, it's probably just
There's an
something to
island.
kind of like get the
It is
bugs
an
out.
island. There's 2 islands. It's kind of like Lost.
Well, if you
Do you
can
think
write
there's
comments,
Aborigines on the other island?
yeah, probably. Oh no, that's where all the normal people are.
Well, and there was tents too. Like it was a vacation spot.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's
people
right,
were
there were
going
tents.
And there was
there.
change and money.
Yeah. No, can you make comments to the people?
Probably. I'm
Probably.
sure.
You should mention that they should make the Aborigines easier to kill, but have more of them.
Yeah, or even just like easier to kill during the day.
Harder
Harder
to
at
kill.
night.
Survival at night.
Yeah, I mean,
something like that.
whatever.
Because I think survival games are like you're supposed to die almost.
Yeah, exactly. In the end, you are, but it's not supposed to be like you
Day-
only
day-
survived
day
by
2
luck.
or something.
Yeah.
Like you're carrying a brick, and all of a sudden someone's like, "Yeah," and you die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
know,
really?
Like, I have an axe. I shouldn't be hitting you 10 times and you hit me 3 and you win with your fists. You know?
Sure.
Little-
They are
They've been there
Aborigines,
for a while,
though.
yeah.
they're pretty strong.
No, I'm not saying they
You saw
can't.
them monkey those
I'm not
trees.
saying they can't kill me
Yes!
with three.
Have you,
three
have you ever
punches.
watched them
Climb the
around those
trees.
trees?
Yeah.
Dude, those are freaky when they're just like.
Dude, they jumped around and they did this one weird thing when Daniel was playing. The one guy climbs the tree and Daniel's like, "Where did he go?" And then he just drops down right in front of him.
Freak of
It was
nature!
so
I'd
bad.
have lost it.
That is awesome.
He also chopped down that tree
That's
that
fun.
had that huge spider web on it. I totally thought they were gonna do something with that. But
Just a horde
Like
of
this.
spiders come out.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, man,
it's
crazy.
pretty creepy.
The other day I went to eat sushi with a friend, and she
Which
told
friend?
Masio. My name is Moscow.
Have you seen Sierra?
Not yet. Like,
Okay.
we're still texting and everything. I just haven't seen it yet. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but we went to this place called Tokai, and it's really close actually. And apparently, it's all. Not only is it a sushi bar, but it's a karaoke bar.
But it's like the Japanese ones where you rent a room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you rent the room, and so I totally want to go sometime, and I just wanted to know if everyone was down to go.
Oh, yeah.
How
Down.
much was it?
It was like 25 for a small room, so I don't know how many fit in a small room.
25 an hour.
25 an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
But they have they said they had the latest Japanese, Korean, and English songs.
Mhm.
So
Well, it might be like
thought
Alan, you
that
and
would
I,
be
our
so
birthdays
cool.
coming out. That might be something
Ah,
fun to do for a
true.
birthday.
Marciel and I were talking about just going there and being the worst white people possible. Just wear traditional Japanese garb and have a Totoro stuffed animal
Konnichiwa!
and just come in bonsai. and we'd be and we'd just be pretentious, be yeah. I know if I was stranded in Japan, I would be able to do just fine.
Like talking to them every time they're in the room. Put on a Japanese song and you're like, Kingo, ki, da, Kingo, be on the balcony. Oh my god! Right as they walk in,
That would
oh,
be
you
totally
missed it.
Yeah, and so we were yeah. So definitely, if we ever go, I wanna do something to that effect.
We could go and
Hit up
bring.
Asian City before.
Oh my
I want
gosh.
to know how much.
Guys, have any of you been to Asian City recently?
No.
How
The
recent?
last time was when we had the chicken
What?
legs, right? Chicken feet. Was
no,
that Asian
that's
City?
not Asian City. That
Where
was
was
an Asian
that?
restaurant.
Oh.
That was on 33.
Well, what's that place that has
that we
the?
went to.
Because that also had that
It was
strip
the-
club right next to
yeah.
it. Where is that?
It was.
That's down State Street.
That's by,
Asian
that
Cities,
Cinemark thing,
Asian
too.
Cities by Game Haven
Yeah.
on Redwood in Nadia.
Oh, you mean the store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were meaning
What about it?
connotating.
I've
Oh,
been
an
there.
Asian city.
like in California,
Like
Oh,
where it's
Chinatown.
Chinatown, and
No,
that's I'm used to that.
no. It's just they have so much
Oh yeah.
there now.
They have
It's-
so much.
They have
there.
more?
Lot.
It's finally looking more like a store and less
And,
like just a
they-
place where they put
they
stuff
have-
in it.
Okay, more than what.
Yeah, what type of
last time I
stuff?
was there, they had the kitchenware and then stuff just
Did you?
aisles,
Did they
fish
have
in the
the?
back,
Did they have the?
swords, the clothes, and then furniture stuff.
They now have a makeup area.
Large
Oh,
jewelry
I think I've seen the
area.
makeup and
they have
jewelry.
wigs there now.
Oh, they
I think
have
I've
wigs?
seen
Yeah,
wigs,
they have some good ones.
Okay, then I think I have seen.
How
it
much? How
recently.
much are the wigs?
I don't know. I didn't see.
I have to look.
But
There was
it's-
one of those Japanese fish aprons. I wanted to get a cooking
Kimono?
apron. No, it was those stereotypical fisher people that have the rope tied around their head. and
Yeah,
they
that's
have
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
The apron and they're pulling out the knives.
Once you say that, it just reminds me of that sound. That he shows up
Yeah.
But
But I mean, it's a cool store. There's a lot of stuff there that I wouldn't mind buying. It's pretty cool.
That's where you're gonna get all your furniture, isn't it?
No.
Slowly, you just get one.
gonna walk into Daniel's house and be like, "What the hell?" It's like, no, this is our table.
You guys,
sit at the
you
table.
guys are gonna love the
You're
townhome.
gonna have to take off your shoes. It's just a cultural thing.
Cultural, Daniel. We grew up together.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty
That
cool.
is.
I didn't realize you guys have a spice rack.
Yep, we do.
I
No
use
home
it.
is complete without a spice rack.
you
You
know,
either
we
need
could
a
use
spice
a
rack
spice
or a lazy
rack.
Susan.
We don't have either. Our kitchen is so crap, and we've had so many problems with this apartment. I'm so pissed off.
Like what?
Well, our air conditioner
Boom!
doesn't work.
Good apartment.
Our cold
We
water
rock.
doesn't work in the shower. We didn't have
Have
a
you
lock
talked
for
to
the
the
window.
problem?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We didn't have a lock for our window until 3 months in.
Oh, that's awesomely not cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
The
those
drawers were
are the
horrible.
stories that make me glad I'm buying a house.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, this is the last place I'm doing renting, so
Yeah.
I'll probably just.
Well, how much are you paying a month?
too much.
I think
Well,
I'm
but
gonna
how much?
squat
Like
after this.
920 now. Oh, just me myself.
Or I'll have
No, just like what's
someone
for the
it's-
apartment.
pay
So
me
with
to,
the
like,
dog
house
now,
sit,
it's
something like that.
$9.79.
Hmm.
But I don't pay any of the
How-
extra dog
Of
stuff.
course, yeah.
Or $9.69.
How many rooms?
Maybe
2
I'll
rooms.
just do
Two?
See,
Oh yeah.
We're getting a 3-bedroom townhome
Yes, we are.
with a attached
Nice,
garage, and it's gonna cost us just about that much with HOA fees, mortgage, taxes,
How much is the
property
total?
insurance.
Of course,
What?
yeah.
How
You're
much is
buying
the
it, so you
total?
have a down payment that you'll have, and you
Like,
have to
yeah.
be financed for it.
How much is like the total amount for the townhouse?
So you
Up
need to
front.
put a down payment.
Yeah,
we're
of
doing
course.
an FHA loan, which you only have to put 3.5% down, so that's 5,000.
Yeah. Okay. I was
So
thinking
we're
5.
putting 5,000 down, so it'll be, and then it's selling for 138. So about 133,000. The monthly payments with property, or I mean principal and interest, and then there's mortgage insurance because you need to pay mortgage insurance until you
own it.
no until you have 20%
Oh,
paid
really?
down. Yeah,
Oh,
only
okay.
20%. And then taxes will be $830. That's how much it'll cost. But then because we're buying a townhome and it's part of a community, they have HOA fees associated with it, and that's $155. So we're going to be paying $985. But the HOA fees include water, or water, sewage, and
month?
trash a month.
To live?
Yes.
Was did I stutter?
You're gonna.
Was I not clear?
It's over, man.
So $9.85 a month.
$985 a month.
3-bedroom.
3-bedroom,
much money.
2.5 bath, 1 garage, 1 car garage.
Well, I assume you and Kylie will be in one bedroom.
Mhm.
I'll be in the other.
No.
And then Asher will be in the
No,
third
Asher
one.
will be in one, yes.
Okay. So
It's me.
You know that.
It's
I'm
me
gonna
and
be in
Kylie in
So
one.
Levi and
Asher
I are
in
sharing a bunk
one.
bed.
You know.
Top bunk.
there. Dang it.
But
Oh,
no,
so you'll need
so
your frame back?
Yeah.
Well, if you're coming, we could do like a triple bed.
what
Yes.
we-
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like a bed here, bed here, bed here.
Like,
yes.
wait,
Three
a V
tier?
bed?
Or a V.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Here's the
No,
deal,
it would have to
guys.
be-
No, let's do a tier bed.
Oh, a tier. Yeah,
Until
that
we
would be
go
sick.
Here's the deal, guys.
The person on top would be like, oh,
Just
man.
If-
Drawer beds. So you pull it out and then you just pull yourself in.
You've already lost Daniel.
we're in this house,
Let me
man.
finish you. Let me finish.
It'll be so
saying
cheap
it.
for you.
Well, you know what? If you guys literally paid like $300 a piece and shared the one room, then
$300 a piece.
Yeah, that's a little expensive, Daniel.
no, it isn't.
We're paying your mortgage
Yeah,
for
exactly.
a room.
How much are you paying
For
right
a
now?
third of a
Aaron?
room.
$365.
I don't know,
Exactly.
Daniel. See, because they'd also have to share with Elizabeth, so there'd be 4 people in that room.
Okay, so yeah, $300 a piece. That sounds good. To
That
me.
I didn't hear any difference. To
No, so here's the deal. I'll own this house if there ever comes a time where you guys literally do need some place to
Yeah.
stay. You guys are always welcome.
What about figuratively?
What? Anyway,
I mean,
So-
and we can always, we're gonna use the garage as a work room for like our cosplay and stuff like that. So you
So
know,
wait, what's the third room?
the third room's gonna be an office.
Okay.
For what?
us.
Yeah, we can use it. I mean, essentially, because I didn't get the detached garage, I figured since we're going to be living at the house for the next little bit, anything we're working on, we can
Put it in the
station
garage.
there, and you guys can not worry about having to move it every year or anything like that. Because then 5 or 7 years from now, after we've gotten either promotions or we're getting more money, we're going to sell that house.
Oh,
I wish.
you're just talking about your spouse.
Yeah, us.
Because it's going to happen for you, but not us.
Yeah, it's not that.
You guys
No,
don't
it's
know
not
that.
gonna happen for me.
You guys don't know that.
Yeah.
But then we're gonna sell the
What
town
am I gonna
home.
get promoted to?
What are you gonna find
Respected.
out? It's 5 to 7 years from now. You're telling me you're gonna stay at Simple
Yep.
Mac for the next 5 to 7
Right.
years.
Not by choice.
You just keep applying, Alan. You
Dude.
find something eventually.
Yeah.
And Aaron,
Will I
5
though?
to 7 years from now, you'll be full time, easy.
Hopefully.
And Levi, 5 to 7 years from now,
I probably won't have changed.
you'll be getting
We'll be
paid
in
more.
Simply Mac together.
I ate a whole bag of Funyuns.
Last night.
That takes care of that
Boom.
one.
Mark
Ate a
off
whole
the
bag.
list.
Like, how big of a bag are we talking? Was it just
And
like
why?
a little
Family
bite?
size.
Why?
Family size?
Because they're funny.
Because I hate
Were you-
myself.
Did you have
Just
fun with
imagine
it?
Late at night, like you just.
No, I was just watching it. It just
It's like, why doesn't she call me? Why
Why
do we
can't I
see each
hang
other
out
with her? Why is she just texting me?
Why did she lie instead of coming to my family barbecue?
No, she.
Oh.
I will. I've never said anything bad, but if I were to say anything like slightly bad, it would just be that she like raises my hopes enough, and then she's like, "Oh wait, something happened. Never mind."
She's keeping you on her hook.
And I'm
You
really
should-
not. I don't think we're barely just texting each other. And
Yeah, I don't think it's something worth pursuing.
Did you find out if she really was like an offender bender?
well, I can't. How would I know that until like?
You see her and you're like,
I
hey, I have
see
a
her
question.
car.
Were you really?
Oh no, it just sounds like
Until
old
I
people
interrogate
used to know.
her.
It sounds like the excuses we used to give when we tried not to
Yeah,
hang out with
it did.
some people.
Or when you're like going to
You
work,
asshole.
Not
That's
you.
what. Not just kidding.
Yeah.
Because you never, it's not
'Cause
like
we
we'd
never
see you
hung
the
out.
next day.
have
It's
you
like, what
ever
happened
been
to your
that friend though?
What?
Where you're like hanging out with all your other friends, and then one person lets something slip, like, "Oh yeah, we were doing this thing that other day," and then you're like, "Where was I?" And they're just like,
Oh, we didn't.
because
find
I
it.
remember that one time, and like, Josh, someone said something, and then I saw, like, the blood like rush out of my friend Josh's face, like, "Oh shit, I let the cat out of the bag" or something.
I've been the person that
Yeah.
did that before. Where I was.
You've done that.
Yeah, where I did that to
Dick.
someone else, and then the next day I was like saying, like the next day of all days, and he's like, "Whoa, I thought you were." I was like, "Oh."
Well, here's the funny thing.
You
Here's the funny
see,
thing.
I don't like you anymore.
We did like not you necessarily so
No,
much,
it's okay,
Aaron,
it's okay.
but
Forget
the
you,
three
Aaron.
of us, you, me, or Levi and Alan and me, we did that a lot. Dude.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was more because there were people that they just wouldn't get the hints.
Well, the
I
sad
was-
thing is they couldn't seem to have fun unless all three of us were
Oh,
involved.
I hated that too.
Like that was the weirdest thing. We had to be there,
Yeah.
or they were not
You
having
know
a
what
good
was?
day.
I think the worst too was like with
You can-
a certain
okay.
person. With a
Your
certain
tendency
person.
of
Yes,
dropping
uh,
names.
He always like we would be like planning something and you'd be like, oh yeah, I might be able to do it, and then the moment you cancel, it'd be like, oh, well, let's not.
Yeah, I don't want to do it or anything
Oh, it's
like
okay.
that.
Well, let's just
Yeah.
hang out here. I'm like, what?
What you're like? What really
Or
changed
like,
here?
or like, there's that other guy who was like coming and peering in the windows.
Oh my
Do
gosh.
you remember that?
Wait, what?
Were
Yeah.
you not there?
No,
We
I
were
don't
hanging,
remember.
We
but
were
I know
hanging
what
out
you're
at our
talking
house,
about.
and we were in the
Alan
basement.
was the person.
And
I was like,
that one guy that used to date your old person.
Okay, now I know who you're talking about.
He
You know that old cougar you were dating?
yeah.
that was an
um,
odd taste.
She knew how to do things, though.
But
man.
but he came to our house and we were all hanging out in the basement playing Halo, and he knocked on the door and we knew it was him, and so we were trying to be quiet and everything like that, and he comes
Around the
around the
backyard.
backyard and starts looking into the windows of the basement and everything like that.
How did we know?
Because we saw his shadow.
Well,
That's the thing.
maybe like he just thought you didn't hear him knocking.
Oh god.
But he
This
kept,
could
he'd
not
call
be
us.
seen in a bad light. I don't. They didn't.
Or
hear
that
me.
time he showed up at the other person we don't like's house and we had to turn off all. I don't know if you were there. Actually, I don't know if either of you were there. No.
Why were you there?
Yeah, why were you there without us?
Because you guys ditched me all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
it was back. It was back when you guys were doing your own thing.
Your own thing.
I had an own thing.
No, Alan.
I did have an own
You've
thing.
always had. Yeah.
I think it was before. No, it had to have been. No, you were gone. You were on.
I was already
commission.
gone. Oh, okay.
That's where you were, and
I
Alan was
had
probably
life.
at work.
And I had a life.
Do-
Whoa!
Do you guys Do you guys
Those
have
are the
like
days.
work phones where all you have to do is dial out the like extension to get
No,
something
I
else?
do.
I've
yeah.
been there for almost a year, and I still don't have a
Oh,
work
yeah.
phone.
Well, we've already talked about
do.
your phone booth one, right?
Oh, it's not the phone booth. It's
Well,
the courtesy phone.
Yeah, the courtesy phone.
Yeah.
We've already
Yeah.
talked that. Well, I've been sort of doing similar things at my work.
You'll go into someone else's office.
No.
the belts have a
all
phone.
all the belts are like linked up with just like phones, and so you can just call extensions and everything. So I've just been like prank calling other people on my on my
On your-
wall, and just doing like funny things. But one I called one and I was just like, hey Justin, is your belt running? And he's like, yeah. You better go get it. And it was the oldest way in the book that
But it was
you would
perfect.
never expect it in that context, you know?
Because he'd have thought, oh, is there like a
He's
hold
like,
up? Is
he's
there?
like, yeah, my belt is running, like it shouldn't be
it's,
off.
it's going right.
Yeah, everything's good. And
Go catch it.
and then I had one of my employees. He would call, and he just like pretend to sound like one of my bosses, and just be like, "You're doing a good job over there. Like, you should feel really proud of yourself." And he's like, "Thanks, I do." Like, he was like really proud of himself when the person called.
And I know that what he's gonna do the next time he sees the boss is that I really
one
needed that
call
today.
was awesome.
He's like,
He's
what?
He's like, I stayed at UPS for 30 years
Because of your one call. I don't remember
He's
that.
like, I never called you.
Who
Did
are
you stand
you
up in the
again?
back?
Yeah, he's like, who are you?
Oh,
That would be
jeez.
And yeah, the long-term prank, I stand up.
That was me.
I
fool.
got you.
You've been punked.
It's like his retirement ceremony.
Yeah, he's like,
It's like, I've been here for so long, and I credit it all to that one phone call.
I'm mad I didn't take the opportunity.
I have like my kid there, like, this is how it's done, son.
So
Watch this.
I'm mad that I missed the opportunity. Anime Bonsai or Anime Salt Lake was going on, and
Well, you
there
didn't
were
do
so
the
many
payphone.
people. I didn't use the phone because I was so busy because there was a lot of things going on and everything. But I wanted to call and see if anyone would pick up and see if I could freak him out.
like those flip-flops you wear.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Is that a wig? It looks hot.
you should take it off. The wig, like I was lying. You're ugly. It's terrible.
No, it's like you should take it off. I wasn't talking about the wig. There were some weird cosplays here.
Weird cosplays, as in
Like what?
As in, there was a gentleman, okay? He was a
I
guy.
know where this
he
is
was
going.
a guy
I know where this is going.
with a wig,
Crossplay.
makeup. He was doing crossplay, but he had like
Oh, there's a word for it.
yeah, there's a word. for it.
Crossplay.
Crossplay is the idea when you cosplay a character that's not your gender. So female.
Like
Oh,
Alan
so-
doing a hedgehog.
No,
Not his
that's
gender.
that's not.
That's
That's
Is
cross
that
hedgehog's a
species.
Speech
Gender?
play. Speech play.
No, so like a lot of women will do
Creature
like
play.
female versions of characters. You know, like there's a ton of female
Yeah,
jokers or
Cross-dressing now has a good connotation as a cross-player.
it's crossplay is only good if women do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't.
Well, in your opinion,
actually,
subjectively.
no. Actually, there's a difference between crossplay.
All you cross players
and
out there, you
cross-dressing.
guys
Keep
Okay.
going,
keep
guys.
going.
Crossplay is where you make like a male character's
Yeah,
more feminine
female
and a
equivalent.
female more like a masculine equivalent.
Oh.
Cross-dressing is where you're literally portraying the female version, but you
I
are
see.
the opposite gender. This guy was portraying the female version as a male, or he's
Okay.
a male, but he had these huge heels, and he was like head almost scraping the ceiling and everything like that. He was just weird.
Which I.
Yeah, when we were at Anime Bonsai, and then we ended up going to that dance, and I went shirtless, and then we found like that glitter,
Oh yeah.
and we did the body glitter on me, and then I was in the this elevator, and this girl was asking me if I was like Edward, and I was like, who is Edward? Who's this Edward? And she's like, you better not be Edward, like, and I was just like, I don't know who that is.
It's like, what anime is he from?
Well, later on, I realized that like Edward did some weird twinkly thing.
It's
like,
the vampire from Twilight.
Yeah, I know.
And the vampires in the sunlight sparkle. That's why they avoid
instead of
sunlight.
burning.
Oh, they sparkle instead
Yeah.
of
What?
burn.
And that's why they avoid the sunlight.
What
Yeah,
the
it's
hell?
not because they'll die. It's because they'll be fabulous.
I love what you're doing with your.
And so I never got it until I
Bye-bye.
heard, until I like realized it later on. That,
That's funny though. Well, I mean, you're notorious. You did Chippendales
Yeah,
for Halloween.
I do a lot of stripper stuff. I went to Vegas just a couple
Oh yeah.
weeks ago, and we ended up having a party bus with stripper poles, and I
And you
rocked
went
it like
on
no
it.
other. Dude, everyone was like, yeah! Left
How
and
much
right.
did you make?
I made enough to pay for the trip.
Whether that was on the pole or off.
Or
On
was
the pole
it
or
some
on the-
random guy making bets for you?
Yeah.
Did we tell that story?
We never
On here?
told it on here, I don't think, but it
Maybe
was,
a little later.
It was just like I ended up gambling, playing some roulette, and I had made $100 of my own money, and I was teaching another lady to play, and while I was doing that, this guy ended up coming up and punching bets on my virtual screen because it was just a virtual one, and he ended up like doing $100 bet or whatever. While I was telling the lady, so I go back to like cancel the bet out, but like
It was
all
too
bets
late.
were placed, and so it was too late, and I just watch it go around, and I'm giving the lady a look like it better be it, and she was giving me a look like, oh no, he did.
Well, like,
So-
and it's not like the guy was. It's not like Aaron was away from the screen when the guy came
he
up.
just came over my
He
shoulder
just-
and he was
yeah,
like,
he was just
I
like-
see these patterns, you know, and he actually did win me like $160, but still, the second time he tried to replace the bet, and I cleared it in time, like with a second left, and I watched it go, and I would have lost it all
Yeah.
back, and so
And then he cashed out.
Yeah,
so
cashed
he made
out,
200.
yeah, man.
hit him hard
60.
and leave.
Yeah,
That's
if
how
you
you go.
ever make over 200, like, okay, depending on how much you're betting, but if you take $100 or less and you're up $200, you leave.
Oh yeah,
You're
You're
good.
done. You're good. You've done good.
that's what like.
200%.
Oh, like
Or is that?
well,
That's 300%.
Yeah, 300. You're right.
Yeah.
mhm.
Because times 3 times x3.
But that is
Thanks,
my-
Daniel. Cross X3.
Crisscross.
Extreme.
I guess now would be a good time to tell you my toe story too, since I'm telling you stories. After the
toe
sushi,
as in
yeah.
pull,
not
as
my
in
foot.
your
Yeah, people have been making that
Oh
mistake.
yeah, that's right. I did say the toe
Maybe
thing.
maybe I should call it something different.
Toe truck.
No, it's
or
not even a tow truck.
towing.
Toe rope story.
Towing story.
Towing.
Why don't you just take my awesome towing story?
Because a lot of people think sexually that way.
Oh my
you know?
god.
You don't want to give them the wrong impression, right?
But just after the sushi in the karaoke
I see
room,
that right
Mhm.
my car ended up just crapping
Kaput.
out on the side of the road. So I ended up having Alan come pick me up that night, which thank you very much for that. But then the next day, called my dad. We came over. He brought his truck and the tow rope, and I remember us like getting the car into position, so we were like pushing it back in and up, and we were putting the ropes on, and I'm like, man, this rope's really long. I don't know, like if we have to take a turn, like if it's gonna pull me over like the curb or something, because I felt the rope was so long, and so we hooked it up and everything, and I got in the car, and once we started like going, I was like, this rope is too short, because
It looked like he was.
if he was to stop, I was gonna just like boom, and so we go out of the parking lot, and my dad pulls it off flawlessly, where he just like he goes perfect speed, where he just picks me up and starts pulling me, and then right as you're getting out of you have to make a right turn out of the parking lot, and I don't know, I was so scared beyond belief, because you have to go up a hill and then like go around, and I think he was worried about traffic and everything, so he was trying to get out fast, but he was just like, he was pulling really hard, and we had just hooked it up to like something underneath
Well, were you
my
getting
car.
that boom?
Yeah.
And so
Okay, no. Here's why. It's loose, and when it slacks up again, it gets the pull up and everything.
no,
like
I
that.
know, but there's
It just happens
still
so
a way
much.
where if you just keep a consistent speed, you'll pull me, and then I'll still have some momentum by the time you pull me again, and so I'll slowly build up to your speed, but it'll be smaller pulls.
Except for when you're moving and he pulls forward, you're pulling back against him.
I know.
It's okay,
No,
guys.
we were
it's
talking
okay.
about that.
Okay, fine.
Well,
fine. I'll let you keep going.
But
I just remember
Anyway, that was
why
nerve-wracking.
I was
it's
afraid he was
okay.
just gonna like rip the thing like out of
Because it
from
wasn't
under
really
my
in a spot
engine.
that we were like, it wasn't even in the middle of the car. We couldn't find anything, but it was kind of towards the passenger side. So we were kind of worried about that in and of itself.
And so I remember we were just driving, and anytime we were getting to a light, for some reason it always turned yellow at like the worst
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
interesting time, to the point where there was one time where it turned yellow, he braked, and when you're in a car that you
It's
haven't
not
started, like the brake is so hard to pump, and it doesn't really do too much.
Couldn't you
And-
turn it on and shift it into neutral?
Well, no, you're in neutral. You can't turn on the car because that's the thing. The engine wasn't going.
Gotcha.
And so he brakes, and so I had to just like brake really fast too, and the rope comes under my tire and like snap, and it like snaps up and everything, and on another turn it turned, and so
You
the
turned
rope
right and
came
the rope
under,
went under.
and like I completely shredded the rope by the time we got back to.
Yeah, I saw it in the garbage
Yeah,
that night.
it was
Oh,
it
man.
was so scary. It was most nerve-wracking I had in a long time.
I know we did that too with the Lumina, so I know what you're talking about. It was not fun, and it was definitely interesting.
Yeah.
We didn't have to go nearly as far as you might have, but and I didn't go on any real major roads, but it was,
We made it.
We made it back without
That's good.
incident.
Yep. Other than one tow rope.
yeah,
One tow rope was harmed in the making of this tow.
this podcast story.
All
I
right.
guess
Who's excited for next Sunday?
What's next Sunday?
I know what next Sunday is. Start of Sword Art
July
Online.
6th.
Yeah. Sword Art Online Season 2. I'm so
In
hopeful.
Japan?
In Japan, but I bet it's so well liked that they'll Crunchyroll the crap out of it.
Did you see the preview
I hope it's
trailer for
good.
Doctor Who?
Yeah, how,
No, it's
how
like
fast do they sub those?
20
I
seconds.
don't know. That's a good point.
It's
Dang it.
crazy.
But
Anyway, hopefully it's good. That I wanted to talk about what
Yeah.
we would think it would
does
be
everyone
like.
have Friday off too for July 4th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I got a
What was-
thought I just want to let you
Is
guys
that
Kind
where,
of.
like
think of.
Abraham Lincoln
What?
Independence Day?
Abraham Lincoln. Oh.
Didn't he die on the 4th?
No.
He was assassinated on.
Did he
was
read
July
things
4th.
on the phone?
Or the Emancipation was signed on July. That's why.
Anyways, Allie,
So-
continue.
So, do you think that nudists have nightmares where they're wearing clothes in front of people?
No. That's
No,
stupid.
it was
So
terrible.
the
I was
idea
clothed.
is you're
so
naked in your dream
embarrassing.
because you're embarrassed because you're not used to it.
So
they're
there's-
used to wearing clothes and they're used to wearing none.
No. I don't think they're used to wearing clothes.
No
How about
one-
this,
yeah.
guys? Consider this. The person who named the blueberry was very lazy.
Yeah. So.
Right? I just think these are funny things.
Or-
like,
Why didn't they just name all poison berries?
If it was poisonous, it should have been called a poisonberry.
Dropped the ball on that one.
What about
Whoa.
the idiot who missed out on calling killer whales sea pandas?
they probably didn't know what pandas were.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know what?
Have any of you guys ever watched the movie Memento?
Nope.
Okay.
I've seen it.
So-
on, like Netflix.
The premise of the movie is it starts. So the guy has
This momentum.
and andrograde amnesia. Well, he can't remember anything
Past a week or something stupid. like
Well,
that.
so he can
Notebook.
he can remember the past up to a certain point, and then after that he can't remember anything else. And so he's trying to find the person who murdered his wife and kill that person.
Cool.
And you're watching the movie backwards, so you see the very end of the movie or the storyline, and then it just keeps going backwards.
Oh, I did hear about that then.
It's really frustrating to watch. But one of the guys on here said they should have it sometimes when you choose Memento, have an option to resume in the middle, and have people just go, "What's going on here? I don't understand what's going on." Just a few things I thought was funny.
How long would you have to know someone before you'd want to marry them? And I'm not.
I wouldn't qualify it as a length of time. I would qualify it as amounts of knowledge about the person, because you can know someone for 4 years and not know anything about them. And I wouldn't say that you should
Like
marry
some
them,
people
but you
we
can
know.
know some people.
So you could sit down
For
for
3
like a
days.
week straight and just
No, it's
hash it out.
it's more
just
than
get
that.
knowledge
No,
about them.
It's more than just knowing stuff about them. It's working with the person. There's a lot to do with
Yeah.
marriage.
So, and like how what do you think a time frame for that it would be? If you're saying it does take
Well, it
time.
depends. It depends on how you're doing it. For instance, if you're just going on casual dates on the weekends for the first little bit, then you start going on a few more dates.
Well,
and a
let's
few
say
more
you can
dates.
do it however you want before you'd marry them. So, like, let's say I would be with them for 24/7 for 6 months before I'd marry them,
I'd give them more time.
or I'd be with them like 2 dates a week for 3 years or something. I'm just saying, what would be the most amount of time in like most packed amount of
But
possible?
I mean, if you
I'm
were
still-
with someone 24/7, it would still, I think, take maybe a year or more.
No, I'm not
Depending.
even going to give you that, considering I got married before that. Those
So
numbers.
just because you
Just because,
Well,
cause you
personal
gotta think
experience.
down,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I've
It's an
hung
idea.
out with Elizabeth.
So-
like,
so it is
But what
subjective.
I'm
Yeah.
saying is
Yeah.
it's
It's very
subjective. I'm saying
subjective.
it depends on the person.
Alright.
It depends on the person you're with.
So,
for
alright,
instance,
so-
like I dated Cammie for 2.5 years, but I never felt comfortable around her. I always felt like one wrong move was going to end the relationship. One of the main reasons I knew I was going to marry Kylie was because from the get-go, I never had that feeling. I never,
So
do
do
feel.
you think it's more is it a time thing or is it a state of mind?
No, it's definitely more of a, if you feel comfortable with the person, if you know you can work well with the person, if you've spent enough time with the person and know what they're like, know what makes them who they are, all those things. It doesn't matter if you did it really quickly or a long time. You could do it. But
the problem is it's a matter of like some people are really
Okay,
easy
then what
to
would be
open up
your
to you, and some
minimum
people
amount of time?
3 days.
Then I'm asking.
I would say before you consider marrying someone, you would still should know them a minimum of 6 months.
Okay.
Okay, 6 months minimum.
6 months, 24/7, or like
No,
6
just
months?
6
having
months.
have known them and been dating them for 6 months.
If it was 24/7, I'd say 2 months.
That's
I'd
the
give you a
minimum.
good
But
amount,
I'm not
so.
saying you're
No,
ready
I don't
after
know.
that.
I'm
point.
not saying you
I
are.
put
I'm
a
just
gray
saying that's
area
your
between 4 and 6.
It
for me.
it
That's your
depends.
minimum.
Yep. It
4 to
and it-
6 years.
Yes, sir.
And
4 to 6 freaking years.
24/7.
And once again,
24 so if it's not 24/7, I lengthen that.
Yeah.
One thing I will give you is
Your parents.
you need. Yeah, I mean they are an exception to the rule.
No,
They-
no, not even necessarily, because
They like wrote each other and
they knew each other for a
Each
short
other.
amount of time, but that didn't guarantee that they would be ready when they were married, because things came up, and
Yeah.
they, instead of
And they worked it
instead-
out.
they worked it out. But that's the kind of stuff that I feel you should discuss before you get married, and you should discuss definitely before you have kids, because that's the kind of stuff that you need to make sure you have a consensus on that, especially if you're going to bring a kid into the world, because once that kid is born, it doesn't matter what you want or what you think or what you care about. It's that kid's up until you send him off to do his own thing. And
Well,
so
and here's another thing, say what you will about anything, but I'm not saying you need to move in with the person, but you need to know how they live, and you need to know that you're going to be able to live like they do.
Yeah, you need to see them away from the dates.
Exactly. If it's just spending a weekend, or going on a trip is a good way to,
I wouldn't recommend
do
2
it.
months though.
Just if we were to
random
quantify a
number.
range of days, don't do 2 months, and preferably not
Out of
Europe.
country.
I wouldn't plan a really, really huge trip with very low money.
That's your problem. It
Money.
wasn't the time.
I would recommend
That's
a
the thing.
cruise.
That's how you do a vacation. You gotta go with just go with the flow. Don't take your car. Have enough money
Yeah.
so that because it always ends up being more
Yeah,
expensive. than
you
think,
always
so-
want a good amount of money more than you think you're gonna
Well,
spend.
there's only so much they could save.
Well, that's the problem. Their problem was their plan to begin with. You guys should have.
We did awesome.
You did
know
awesome.
what?
It
I'm
was
not gonna-
fun.
You know what?
It was fun
you-
listening to you plan where
was
you were going to
fun
go.
when
Though,
I
when she's
asked
like, I want to go here, here, and here, and you're like, we can't go here, here,
But
and
here's
here.
the thing.
But I wanted to go here.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
like we
true,
don't have
but
the
we
money
didn't
to
go.
go there.
Was it really worth it? in
Oh
the
yeah.
end?
Oh yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It sounds like you had a pretty rough time.
Oh, it
But
was
that's-
rough. I'm
Yeah,
saying it's
but that makes you
rough,
strong.
but it was fun.
There's
It
the
was-
way that they dealt with it in the end. I
I
think.
wouldn't have.
What doesn't
that
kill
would-
you?
I think that I think it was this. I mean, it was stressful, the trip, because we had to do a
This
lot
one's a
of
secret one.
we had to do a lot of
Is this
planning
the
on the
last one?
fly.
Or-
The
we,
last one I have
we
on the
didn't
list.
get to really plan super far ahead because we needed
So-
to make sure we had the money for it.
So
Yeah.
here's my question.
hmm
Why is that question on your list?
This one?
The marriage one, yeah.
Oh, the marriage one. Oh, I just thought of it, and it was a good question, I thought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
he just wants
Someone's-
to get a feel.
By the way, I'm
Someone's
getting married.
I would believe Aaron. You need to get out more. I'm just,
What?
Yeah.
I
No, you're texting a girl, Aaron. Levi.
I'm just kidding, man. You get out plenty.
No, I don't.
You go
Stick
to
with
those,
it, man. It's
you
true.
go to those places that you do the repair work on. You should.
Yeah, I
should
get up
find a-
all the time.
Yeah,
You
You
should
go to-
find some.
I go to
girls
Park
there,
City
you
and
know?
you go to
Provo
all,
and-
yeah, you go to all those rich people's houses.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh! Have
to
I even
everyone
told you
with their
guys some of
daughters.
that? I wanted to. There was
Really?
a house that I went to where it was a young family. They had an elevator in it, a freaking elevator, and it was actually pretty good because he tore his ACL skiing, and he took the elevator down the stairs. But it was huge. They had this living room that was bigger than this apartment, and I'm not exaggerating.
I don't
The
believe
living
you
room was
are.
that big, then the kitchen, and then another family room just on the end. And then they had the basement that was just as big
So-
with the kitchen and
Here's
12
my
rooms.
question. Here's my question. What do you use all that space
And there was
for?
an upstairs that I didn't even go to. And they had a guest house that was a 2-story with basement, and
Yeah.
it had a kitchen on the bottom
Bigger
as well.
than my townhome.
Yeah, easily bigger than your townhome. And I had to just extend the network out there, create a new network for that house. And they're like, yeah, we considered just living here because it was big enough for our family, still a little big. I was like, oh
Then
my
what are they gonna
gosh.
do? Rent out the other house? I'm pretty sure people that rich don't rent houses.
Yeah.
That is insane, though. That house, my word.
That is
See, and if you
insane.
would ask me that question about every question I wrote down, that would be weird. 'Cause especially for this next one.
Well, I'm not asking for everyone. It's that
preferencing.
one specifically.
That
Because
was- 'cause
recently
that was a-
you're talking about
that
a
was- it
girl,
was an
and all of a
open-ended
sudden I'm like,
question.
is Aaron wondering how long he can talk with Sierra before he can propose?
If we never
Oh,
meet
no.
and just text, then
Yeah,
we can get
that's
married.
gonna take 4 years. Tom, Sarah.
4 to 6, that
4 to
gray
6,
area.
you know.
4 to 6 centuries.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess the last one that's kind of similar is, what would your reaction be if your son or daughter, at the age of 17, wanted to have a sex change?
What would you do?
What would your reaction be? What would you do?
yeah,
Yeah, okay, I got it.
I would just say, as long as you're paying for it, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
really care.
Yeah.
I want.
I wouldn't be. I don't know.
You'd be a little disappointed.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, whatever you want to do.
I mean, I think that
I'm not gonna
Disown.
be like, yeah, I'm not gonna
the important thing.
pull a trigger on them.
Yeah, the important thing is it's their decision to make. In the end, it's like.
Yep.
But does their age matter at all? Like what
Being
would you...
16, I'd be like, you definitely
Well,
have to wait till you're 18 to do it, or even
Here's
21.
the deal: is generally people who go through that have to go to counselors and have to spend years, making sure that it's literally what they want and not just a fleeting fancy. So if at like 16, Azure says she wants to do that, I would be like, okay, well, we'll go ahead and start getting you into those counselors, and we'll,
So you'd be paying for the counselors?
she'd probably still be on my insurance, so I probably wouldn't
Usually
mind.
get the counselor's part of the insurance.
Yeah, and then if she
Not ours,
if
though.
she went through all of
don't
that
get anything on our
and she
insurance.
was like, yeah, I still want to do this, then I would be like, well, I'm not going to be able to pay out of pocket for it, but if you're able to save up for it and you want to do that,
Would it change
go
anything at all?
ahead. What?
Would it change anything at all?
No.
Like,
I'd
Would-
try not
would
to
it change
change the
anything
way
at all?
that I talk to them.
It might
I'll try to
change things a
always-
little bit. I'm not gonna be naive and say, it's not gonna be weird or anything like that. But I'm not gonna like shun her
Yeah.
or anything like that.
See, I don't know. Like, I
But-
just don't feel like I would even.
I would raise a kid.
No,
Whoa,
there,
actually.
wow. No, like,
You're like, you want to
think
be what?
Those were your words.
Those
I
were
was
your
just
words.
saying them
You
for
said
you.
It's just putting them in your
it
mouth.
would still
Eat
be
them.
it would still be my kid. Like, I wouldn't be.
For
I
me,
would,
I think the
like,
hardest part would be like them being like a girl for all their life, and now I have to, and now they're like
Think
a
of the guy.
boy, and I'm just wondering,
Well-
would I have already have been treating them like a boy, even though they were the girl, because that's how they wanted to be treated, or not that you'd have to treat them any differently, but that, because they
There's a
are a
difference.
girl,
Well, here's
so
the question. Yeah,
you're
were they
like doing.
did they grow up as like a tomboy? Were they very tomboyish?
Yeah, exactly,
Or,
and I
were,
don't know.
or did they literally go to 16, girly girl, and decided they just didn't like that anymore and
I
wanted
mean,
to switch
even
it
if
up?
they did do that, it's like, I don't know. Just to me, because people change, and
Yeah, but
you
yeah.
get, it's not like, it's not. I mean, gender seems like it would be a huge change, but in reality, it's actually really small. There are some people whose personalities change so dramatically, and they're still the same gender. But switching from one gender to the other, I mean, they're still going to have the same personality.
You're
I
not
don't-
dealing with the issues, like the
Yeah.
issues
I
that
don't
come
have
with
to-
the sex change aren't something you have to deal
I
with.
mean, the only thing that I think would be problematic is that there's going to be people who are going to make a big deal about it.
Yeah.
They're going to try to make my kid feel like it might have not been a good idea.
Yeah,
Or they
but
might
that-
make fun of them. and
That's where you, as a parent,
I'm gonna
have
beat
to
them
be
up.
so
Stand up.
supportive.
I'm going to beat those people up because.
So,
But of course, I'd beat up anyone who's like. Makes
I have
somebody
to
like
ask,
that.
my kids.
Aaron, are you planning to?
Oh wait,
Aaron,
no! I want son or daughters.
I should
know.
Just kidding, Aaron.
Well, I thought you were
This is
just
my
kind of
safety
getting an
at stake
idea.
here.
I thought you were getting an idea just so
The
that way if you were to
consensus,
talk to
yeah,
mom and
yeah.
dad about it, how do you think they might
Guys.
feel?
Feel like a woman.
Man.
I feel like a woman. We were
Cool.
talking
Wait,
about that song
wait,
the other
hold on,
day
actually.
too.
Wait, what?
Hold on. I got a follow-up question.
What's up?
Have any of you ever felt like you might want to change your gender? Like, even like a fleeting
I was
thought?
like 14
Oh,
or 13.
like as
yeah.
Like,
I can
permanently?
see
No,
you,
yeah.
because you had a
I had
bunch
all
of
sisters.
Yeah.
You probably would have
Well,
felt more
no, like if I
included.
could do like Freaky Friday for a day and just
No, like,
baby.
fully
Like,
change your gender.
definitely.
Yeah, like actually have a sex change
Like a
operation. and
well,
do
here's
that.
Like
here's one
seriously,
thing.
like
Here's one
contemplate
thing.
like I would want to be a girl. Like I know I would have to have a sex change, and I'd want that.
Mhm.
Because if that's the case, then no.
Here-
I've always
here's the
Okay.
thing. Yeah, here's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
I don't a sex change.
Mhm.
You're not you don't have the same. It's not the same as a real.
Oh yeah, no.
So
no.
and so at that point, it's just
I'm a
like
real
Excuse
girl.
me.
at that point, it's just like, well, why would you want to go through all that trouble?
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
I
Like
just-
that's always the hard. I was wondering if any because like I would support my child, but it'd be hard to understand, especially if you hadn't been in that kind of situation when you were a kid. And I've always wondered, like, obviously it's bad enough that they want to change it, and I've always wondered what it is that makes it so
That caused that.
So yeah, like, is it something that is there a reason behind it, or is it just they feel miserable, or like what makes them feel miserable about that?
They'd want a psychiatrist it up.
Yeah. It's funny. The only reason I would
they're trying to.
The only reason like I would ever consider it is because I hate looking at myself in the mirror.
Well, wouldn't that be the worst like nightmare to be like, I still hate looking at myself
right?
in the mirror.
That's kind of true, because whenever I play a game, my first instinct is to be a girl. If I could choose to be a male,
you don't want to look at a guy.
Time, yeah.
You know,
I'm like, I'm gonna play with my clothes off. Yeah.
and so it's like that's why you have to go through the counseling, because in my mind, if I ever like considered it, it would be more like, well, do you really want to be in? And I'm like, well, no, it's just because I really like how women look and I hate how men look, and so I kind of hate how I look, you know.
He roundabout finds out, oh, I have low self-esteem.
No, it's not necessarily.
Change your sex
It's not
because you have
necessarily low
self-esteem.
self-esteem. It's more like, you know, I can reinforce the fact that I'm a straight male because I don't think I look attractive,
Yeah.
you know. But
Here's
Totally
a good
agree.
question.
You know?
If any of you did have a sex change operation, would you still be attracted to women?
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
you
yeah,
become a
definitely.
lesbian?
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Right.
it
How do
would-
you
There's
think that
no
would be?
way that I would... Awesome? I don't know.
what
What are you looking
what kind
for?
of porn do you watch, Alan?
Fair enough.
Do you watch
Aaron. Scissor fingering over here.
Scissors?
I
Anyway.
think that was a good question to end off on.
Well, I mean, I
Do
got.
you have anything else?
Yeah,
I have.
one
I
more.
have one.
There's
Okay.
one more, though.
No, I'm just joking. We don't have to do it.
Oh, what is it?
Can one infinity be greater than
I hate you.
another?
All right.
Because we never did it on
I
the
think,
podcast.
I think based on your idea, it can be. Based
Well-
on Alan's idea, it can't be.
So,
I think it's a matter of perception.
how many
like,
numbers are between 1 and 2?
An infinite amount.
How many numbers are between 2 and 3?
An infinite
The
amount.
same infinite amount.
Which infinite is bigger, though?
I don't think either one of those would be bigger.
But the numbers in the infinite is bigger than the other numbers in the
Would they
infinite.
be though?
No, I don't.
Yeah, because it has to be confined between.
Have
Are we
a 2
adding all the
point
numbers though
that
together?
To 3 point
No,
that,
no, I'm just saying,
compared
like,
to 1 point.
It
that
can only
to
go
2
to like
point that.
1.999.
Yeah, but you're not asking. You're not asking about the
I get
numbers
it.
in it.
I
You're
guess that's
asking
true.
how many there are.
That's true.
Okay, so there's the same infinite number in between 1 and 2 as there is between 2 and 3. So
But what if
therefore
you
it'd be
would
the
add
same.
them up then? The
You'd
one
have-
higher would get
But
higher.
You'd
It has
have
to.
an infinity.
But once you start adding, you're quantifying it, and so you'd have to give it a number.
Oh,
right?
Well,
yeah.
you, no, you're just saying as it approaches, as it goes on.
Okay,
for
this is the same
infinity.
argument. You know,
We've already had
so I'm
this
not gonna
argument.
keep arguing with that.
What's the rate of approaching?
Is it about rates here, or is it about the actual infinity concept?
But that's the thing. You can't actually get to infinity, so you can only approach it at some rate.
Quantify.
Well, so if you
No,
here's
not,
a,
it
here's
doesn't
a good
even have to be
question
a
I have.
quantifiable
So if you
rate.
can't get to infinity, why even consider it something quantifiable? So
We're
like,
not saying
We're
it's
not
quantifiable.
considering it quantifiable. That's the thing. You
Okay.
never consider infinity quantifiable.
So if you never consider infinity quantifiable, then how can you put it in a situation where you're trying to quantify it?
No, you just look at the trends as something approaches it, as what it's doing, and
Okay.
then predict its behavior.
So
Besides,
the trends,
there's
then,
other
right?
unquantifiable.
No, I know.
Okay.
So, but you're just looking at the trends, right? So one trend can be higher than the other. But does that mean the infinity is higher than the other? Because no matter what the trend is, infinity is always
Still
the
constant.
same. No matter what
But
the trend.
Constant by inconsistency.
Okay, so but we already determined that that you can't at
Win this
infinity.
argument. Yes,
There's
I
no
agree.
higher infinity. Like there isn't.
Yeah.
What
Wait,
what
what's
we're
the
talking
argument?
the rates have to do with infinity times infinity, and what we're saying is not quantifiable. But there's when you do it, there's the rates of infinity. When he times it, the rate would maybe double in speed.
Okay, I agree with that.
Okay,
but
Alan. Okay,
but
Let's
Continue.
safe word.
Continue.
but okay, let me
No,
put it this way. So
Don't say it.
I don't know.
I would
say
work with
anything.
that but the thing is those rates will be the same if you're going to infinity or if you're going to a really high number. That doesn't change based on whether you're using infinity or not.
Yeah, but you're still,
Right?
but you could still times infinity by infinity using that.
Why? Because that's not infinity. Isn't the rate? The rate is separate.
Yeah, but you're timesing infinity by infinity because we've already determined that infinity deals with the rates.
No, I never said infinity deals with the rates. I said
That's
you
what
deal.
we were saying.
Then I don't say
Then
that.
redacted.
Infinity, you reach infinity
had him.
through a rate.
I had him.
You reach infinities through the rate, but infinity itself
Okay.
is something else.
How much time do we got?
That's it.
None.
We're good.
That's
it.
a wrap.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been the Pandemonium Podcast.
This is Daniel.
Levi.
Gary.
Okay.
Jerry.